Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. In the beginning, there was a united humanity of the generations following the Great Flood, speaking this single language and migrating eastward. The world was young. The earth, freshly cleansed by the Great Flood, was a blank canvas waiting for the brushstrokes of human endeavor. The descendants of Noah, the sole survivors of the flood, had a shared history, a shared language, and a shared purpose. Their unity was unparalleled, their bond unbroken. Imagine a world where every man, woman, and child spoke the same tongue, where communication barriers were non-existent, where understanding a given. That was the world back then. In this world, the people were not just survivors, they were pioneers, explorers, architects of a new age. They were a people filled with ambition, their hearts pulsating with the vibrancy of new beginnings. Their unity in language was not just about shared words. It was a reflection of their shared vision, their shared dreams, and their shared destiny. As they journeyed eastward, they were driven by more than just curiosity. They were fueled by a burning desire to make their mark on the world, to assert their existence, to etch their story into the annals of time. It was not just a physical journey, it was a journey of the spirit, a quest for significance, an expedition towards self-definition. And so they journeyed, their hearts filled with hope, their minds brimming with ideas, their spirits ablaze with the flame of unity. They journeyed not as individuals, but as a collective, a united humanity marching towards a common goal, a dream. This unity in language and purpose led them to a land called Shinar. It was in this land, kissed by the golden rays of the sun, that they decided to take their shared dreams and turn them into reality. It was here that they decided to build, not just a city, not just a tower, but a monument to their unity, a testament to their shared language and purpose. And so in the land of Shinar, the story of the Tower of Babel begins. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." In Shinar, these words echoed, marking the beginning of a grand design conceived in the heart of the land. A project of unprecedented scale was about to take shape. A city, not just any city, but one that would stand as an emblem of their unity, their strength, and their ambition. And at its heart, a tower. A tower not limited by earthly measurements, but one that would touch the heavens. The people of Shinar were not only erecting a city or a tower, they were crafting a monument to themselves. A testament of their capabilities, a testament of their unity. It was more than just bricks and mortar, it was a structure of pride, arrogance, and hubris. They were determined to make a statement, a bold declaration that all would see their city and its towering pinnacle. They longed to etch their legacy into the annals of, they wanted to be remembered as the ones who dared to touch the sky, the ones who dared to challenge the heavens. Their motivation was not divine reverence, nor was it a humble tribute to the Almighty. Instead, they were driven by self-glorification, a desire to exalt themselves above all others. They dreamed of being gods in their own right, masters of their destiny. But in their pursuit of glory, they overlooked one crucial detail. In their ambition, they failed to consider the divine perspective. They did not realize that their tower, their city, their name were all fleeting, transient, and ultimately insignificant in the grand cosmos. Their actions were not without consequence. Their pride and arrogance sowed the seeds of their downfall. They had aimed to make a name for themselves, to build a tower that would reach the heavens. But little did they know their actions would lead to unforeseen consequences. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." Looking from above, God observed the city of Babylon, now crowded and bustling with the zeal of the people building a tower that was rising towards the heavens. This tower was a testament to the audacity of mankind's ambition, striving to reach the divine through their own efforts and labor. Yet the unity of language that was the cornerstone of their endeavor was about to be shattered. Realizing the potentially dangerous consequences of this unity, God concluded an intervention was required. The question that confronted him was, if mankind with a single unified language could build such a structure, other audacious feats might they accomplish? Their ambitions, if left unchecked, could lead them astray from the righteous path. So God chose to disrupt the harmony of language and put a stop to the of the tower. His intervention was both swift and decisive. He introduced a divine confusion, a cosmic babble that swept through the city like a wave. Suddenly, words that once had meaning became a random and unintelligible sounds. The workers, who had labored side by side, found themselves lost in a linguistic labyrinth. The scene would have been one of utter chaos. A worker passing bricks to another, who could not understand what was being said, a foreman yelling orders that went unheard. The once harmonious rhythm of work in the city gave way to discord and chaos. The language, which had been tool and bridge to reach the heavens, became their obstacle. The words that held so much power were reduced to meaningless sounds. The tower, intended as a symbol of their unity, ended as a monument of their division. Amidst this confusion, the construction came to a complete. The builders, unable to communicate, could no longer coordinate their efforts. The dream of a grand city with a towering monument reaching the heavens crumbled under the weight of this divine intervention. And so, the city was left incomplete, and the people were scattered across the earth. The tower stood incomplete, a silent witness to the moment humanity's unified voice was replaced by a chorus of diverse tongues. So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel. Because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. From this moment on, humanity was divided by language. Can you visualize the turmoil, the disarray? Out of the clear blue sky, the same words no longer held the same meanings. Language, once a tool that brought unity, became the wedge that drove people apart. A great city and a tower aiming towards the sky, left incomplete because the workers no longer comprehended each other. A symphony of sounds that used to be harmonious, now clashed in a cacophony of misunderstanding. This was the aftermath of the Tower of Babel incident, a significant moment that set off the of diverse languages. People began to move apart, forming distinctive groups based on their new languages. They moved away from Babel, scattering far and wide across the earth. This scattering more than just a geographical one. It was a cultural and linguistic divergence. Each group, each community, started to form its own unique language. From the towering mountains to the deep valleys, from the vast plains to the dense forests, each corner of the earth began to resonate with a different sound, a different language. Each language in its own right started shaping the ways of life, beliefs, traditions, and worldviews of its speakers. The languages became so diverse, so complex, that the thought of a common language retreated into a distant memory. The Tower of Babel, once a beacon of unity and ambition, now stood as a stark reminder of division and confusion. In the face of this scattering and diversity, however, there remained a constant, something that transcended language and geography. Two words, two simple yet profound words, survived the divine intervention. These words, universal in their implications, held the power to unite humanity once again. Despite this scattering and division, two universal words remained. Amidst the confusion and division, God left humanity with two words, Hallelujah and Hosanna. Imagine, you will, a tapestry of human language, complex and varied, each thread a unique dialect, a different tongue. Yet amidst this intricate weave, two threads glow with a celestial radiance, running through the fabric of human speech, binding us all together. These threads are the words Hallelujah and Hosanna. These words aren't just universal, they're divine. The echoes of an ancient bond, a sacred connection between humanity and the divine. They exist in nearly every culture, in nearly every language. They are the linguistic embodiment of unity and diversity. Hallelujah is a word of praise, of joy, of celebration. It's a word that transcends the boundaries of human language, a word that unites us all in the act of worship. To better understand the depth of Hallelujah, let us turn to Revelation 19:1. After this I heard what sounded like the roar of a great multitude in heaven shouting, Hallelujah! Salvation and glory and power belong to our God. When we say Hallelujah, we're not only expressing our joy, but also joining voices with the celestial chorus of praise, uniting with countless others across the globe. Hosanna, on the other hand, is a word of hope, of deliverance. It's a plea for salvation, a cry for help that resonates across the heavens. It's a word that reminds us that, no matter our differences, we all share the same hopes, the same fears, the same need for divine intervention. To grasp the heartfelt emotion behind Hosanna, we turn to Matthew 21:9. The crowds that went ahead of him and those that followed shouted, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest heaven. The word Hosanna unites us all in our prayers for salvation and deliverance. These two words, Hallelujah and Hosanna, serve as a bridge, a conduit of sorts, connecting every human heart with the divine. They are a testament to our shared heritage, our shared faith. They remind us that despite our differences, we are all part of the same grand design, all children of the same Creator. They remind us that, in the grand scheme of things, language is not a barrier, but a tool, a means of expressing our shared human experience. They remind us that, at the end of the day, we are all part of the same tapestry. These words, Hallelujah and Hosanna, remain a divine connection between humanity and God, transcending all barriers of language. These two words serve as a reminder that worship is divine. In his Gospel, chapter 4, verse 24, penned down perhaps one of the most profound truths about worship. This verse, John 4:24, states, God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in the spirit and in truth. This, dear friends, is the crux of worship. It's not about the language we speak, the rituals we follow, or the hymns we sing. It's about the spirit, the truth, and the genuine connection with the divine. When we say hallelujah, we are expressing our highest praise for the Almighty. It is a word that transcends language and culture, a universal proclamation of God's glory. Conversely, Hosanna is a plea, a cry for help. It means save us. Yet it's also used in praise and acknowledgement of God's power to save. These two words, Hallelujah and Hosanna, serve as a bridge, a common ground, a meeting point for all of us, regardless of our language or culture. They are like two sides of the same coin, representing our relationship with God, one of reverence, the other of reliance. Worship, in its truest form, is divine. It's a sacred moment when we, in all our human frailty, reach out to the divine. It's a moment when we acknowledge our need for God and his sovereignty over us. It's a moment when we strip away all pretenses and stand bare, with nothing but our spirit and truth, before our Creator. Hence, in this vast world of diverse languages and cultures, these two universal words, Hallelujah and Hosanna, serve a unique purpose. They unite us. They remind us of our shared humanity, our shared spirituality, and our shared purpose, to worship the divine. In the end, despite our diverse languages and cultures, we are united in our worship of God through these two universal words, Hallelujah and Hosanna.